Welcome back to another Ret Paladin video. It's the first one I've done in a while, so I'm excited to jump right into it. There's some data mined abilities and spells from the most recent Dragonflight Alpha, so let's take a look. Don't forget to hodge that like button and subscribe for more Ret Paladin content. Comment below what you're excited about for Dragonflight. Okay, so WoW had posted an article about some data mine stuff related to Paladins, and since we don't have the talent trees just yet, this is probably the best we're going to get. My best guess is it will be a few weeks before we see the Paladin talent trees, because it seems like Blizzard wants to do some more focused testing on the current classes that are on there, like the Evoker, the Priest, the Rogue, that kind of thing. So I think it's going to be a few weeks, but probably in early August we'll get to see those Paladin talent trees. Right now, we just kind of have the data mine scraps to work with. Alright, so the first thing on the data mine is that there's two speculated Covenant abilities that are going to be returning in Dragonflight. Again, these are data mines, so it's possible that this isn't something that we're actually going to see, but it will be really cool once we start looking at them. So the first thing that we're seeing is Divine Toll. That's one of our favorites, obviously, from patch 9.0. It's kind of fallen out of favor, especially in the PvP crowd, up here at 9.2.5. But this is obviously going to be a really strong ability, especially if it ends up being a talent. And then keep in mind that the talents that we're seeing there could also include the conduits as well, which causes it to hit multiple times on the main target. So we don't know if that conduit's going to be available. But if it is there in the talent, then it's definitely going to be a strong pick for raids and Mythic Plus, and maybe something we want to use in PvP. It just kind of depends. Okay, so the second one here is Vanquisher's Hammer, and this actually might be a great pick for all sorts of content types, especially since it provides some really good off-GCD damage, some good cleave damage. It generates some HP, and so it's actually really good ability to have, so I'm hoping that this is something that's actually in there. Again, it'll kind of depend on the talents that are below it. What we're seeing in the talent trees in some cases is that you'll have a really good ability, and then a couple below that, you'll have something that'll augment it. So that might kind of take the place of conduits. We'll have to kind of see. Okay, so for the generic Paladin talent strings, these are some talents that every Paladin is going to get, not just Ret Paladins, but we're seeing the return of several conduits like Golden Path and Seasoned Warhorse. And the Seasoned Warhorse is one that is similar to the Light's Barding conduit. It's going to increase the duration of your Divine Steed. There's also several increases that we're seeing to Consecration's damage, and it's not really clear whether that's actually going to be a button that we want to press. Even right now in Shadowlands, it doesn't do a whole lot of damage, and it's kind of just a dead ability for Ret Paladins. You can definitely press the button sometimes. It'll give you a little bit of DPS, but if there's anything else that's possibly going to come up in the next GCD, you're probably not going to use it. We're also seeing some basic stuff. These are kind of what we'd expect to see in the Paladin talent tree. Things like 5% increase to our Holy Power spenders, or a slight reduction in cooldown for both Seraphim and Divine Steed. There's some other prot stuff here, blah, blah, blah. We don't really need to look at the prot Paladin talents, but it's nice to see that they actually have some of these talents fleshed out, so that'll be kind of cool. Now, Red has just one speculated talent here in the data mine. It actually looks pretty cool. So what it is while mounted on the charger, now I'm assuming they're talking about our Divine Steed and not we're actually riding on our mount, because it wouldn't really make sense otherwise, but it increases the range of your Crusader Strike, Templar's Verdict, and Hammer of Justice by 3 yards. That might be kind of good, and we could reduce the frustration sometimes when you kind of use that Divine Steed and you can't quite reach your target in time to cast that ability, especially if you have something like Divine Purpose and you have a proc that you really want to use. So there's things like that it might kind of situationally be useful, but it doesn't seem like it'll be all that great. Obviously, these talents are not set in stone right here, and this one in particular is not very overwhelming. Alright, so that's it for the data mine changes. My guess is going to be a few weeks before we actually see the Paladin talents. They're going to get some more focused testing on the existing classes that are out there. Obviously, we're going to take a look at those in great depth when that happens. Thank you so much for watching the video. If you made it this far, please be sure to hodge that like button and subscribe for more Paladin content. And I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.